Bitcoin does not look good at all at the moment. We are hovering right now around about the price of 100,000. You can see here we've been hovering pretty much between around 99,000 to now around 104,000. Let's see what's going to happen in the coming days, and I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, at what point we're going to go into a bear market, right? And first thing I can spot right here is that we are at the moment at this level of resistance, and I've just spotted it now, and it's obviously a good thing if we can break above here, create a higher high and go higher from here, and this will hopefully bring us back to the higher levels. But what I wanted to show you guys is if we zoom out a bit, okay, we are obviously at crucial support and resistance here, and we have been talking about this before many times about this indicator here, which tells us every time that we are basically going into a bear market around 80 weeks after the halving, okay? And this is indicated by these green lines. So at the end of the green lines, which we have now successfully passed, and I've mentioned this in the last few videos many times, we usually go into a bear market, right? And we have basically passed it around about almost 2 weeks ago, end of October. So according to history, this clearly suggests that we are going to a bear market. Let's go back in history and look at what happened the last time. Well, in the last cycle, you can see that also at the end of the green lines, which was in November of 2021, we started the bear market and we started going down, right? Let's go back in time a bit more to the last cycle. And for this, I'm gonna put the logarithmic chart on so we can see it a bit better. We can see that at the end of the green lines, again, actually a bit before that, we started going to a bear market. So, and the time before that, also a bit earlier actually, we started going down into a bear market. And one trend we can notice here, which is actually good for us, good for us to know, and if we zoom out, like we can show it overall. One thing to note is, look, we are going to a bear market always a bit later, right? This was about at the pretty much the beginning of the green lines, then more towards the end of the green lines, then pretty much at the very end of the green lines. And what does this mean? Well, it means we're always going a bit further to the right. So according to this theory, I think, and I've just discovered it now, we might actually go down a bit later, which means we might have another push up higher, which I'm hoping for. And I will show you the level which we have to hold in order for this to happen, and then go down. Because we have not had the altcoin season yet. We've not had a proper push up yet, right? Like we had the last few years. Because the last few years, this push that we're seeing, this exponential push here, this exponential push, we've not had it. This cycle was very different. We've just gone up slowly and gradually up and down. We've had institutions in the market. So it's a very different bull market this time around than last time around. And the time before that, of course, also we had a very exponential move up. You can see it here. And of course, in the first cycle, it was also very exponential. Bitcoin was, of course, much smaller, had a much smaller market cap, a lot less people were investing into Bitcoin. And what this shows us is we might go a bit higher, but we should be cautious, because at this point, at the end of the green lines, we usually always go into a bear market. Now, one thing to note is this chart here, okay? And this is just Bitcoin on the weekly, and you can see the EMA ribbons here. Basically, the point we have to hold is here at $98,000 per Bitcoin, which is both co-lining with our support line and the EMA ribbons. So if we hold the $98,000 point, in my opinion, and we bounce from there, then we can continue the bull market, make probably a tiny bit of a higher high, but we should consider selling soon. If we go below this, I think we're going to go into a bear market, at least for the next 1 to 2 years. And that is pretty much the analysis. Now, if you look at cryptocurrencies in general, so if you look at here CoinMarketCap, it has something called the market cycle top indicators, right? There's 30 of them. These are the top 30 indicators, which indicate if a bull market top has been hit, right? And these indicators, if the more of them that get triggered, the more likely we are gonna have at the top of the bull market. And at the moment, you can see here that 0 out of the 30 cycle top indicators have been triggered, right? And one of them, the important one, is the pi cycle top indicator. So what we can see here is the orange, the big black line is of course the Bitcoin price, the orange line is the 111-day moving average, and the green line is another moving average, the 350-day moving average. And every time the orange line, you can see it here, every time, let me zoom in a bit, the orange line goes above the green line, we have a top, right? We had the top here in 2013. You can see here the orange line goes above the green line, we had a top. We can see it over here, we had a top at the exact same point. And also last time, we can see the two lines are touching and we had a top pretty much at the exact same point. And at the moment, we are nowhere near these two lines touching. These lines are not near touching, and according to this chart, which has always been accurate, we are not near a top, as well as all the other 30 indicators, which makes me believe that we might go higher. However, I think we have to hold this line at $98,000 per Bitcoin. And the way it's looking right now, if you zoom in a bit onto Bitcoin, hopefully this is it and we go higher from here. If we do go lower, you can see there's a lot of space below us, right? You can see all of this space here below us, which can be filled, right? And that's obviously not a good thing. Also, the more often we touch a certain support line, the more likely it is to break. And you can clearly see that we have been touching it here 1, 2, 3 times. Hopefully, we're gonna go higher from here. Now, one thing to note also is that in general, the cryptos market space is increasing, right? Like it's growing. So while in 2013, we only had, it was about, so in 2017, we had around about, let me show you how many coins we had. Here we can see how many crypto currencies there are in circulation. And in 2017, there was about 8,700 tracked cryptocurrencies, right? And you can see this number going up drastically, especially in the bull markets. Here we had the 2021, 2022 bull market. That's just a lot more coins came into circulation. And now we have over 26.8 million crypto coins. So any money that flows into the crypto space is being diluted across all of these coins, which means the alt season this time is not gonna mean that everything pumps. It's gonna mean that certain coins pump, the major coins, like certain selected coins. So it's not like the last few cycles where everything just pumps. Like I said, you have to choose your coins properly and only a few of them will pump. And I think that's the big coins. And the other coins are probably just a gamble if you invest in them. Now, if we look at Ethereum, it does not look that good actually. So obviously we had here on the weekly, we have this major support line which were broken. But if I put on this Bitcoin cycle indicator, right, which we had in the previous chart, look at this, guys. We're at the end of the green lines here and we're going down, right? We're just at the end of green lines. Look at the last time, exactly at that point we went down. I mean, it coincides with Bitcoin obviously, and that's it. Ethereum is not that old, but the main hopium for us here, which I pointed out obviously on this chart, is that we have the top always a bit later every time, right? We had the top here at the beginning of the green lines, towards the end, at the very end, and then we have it probably around about here. I'm hoping we go to 135 and then have an altcoin season so we can sell those altcoins. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Adios.